Hello everyone, this is Karen Jean Lowe with Simpatico, and today I thought it would be helpful for us to give some pointers on how to confront others using emotional intelligence, of course, because that's what we're all about at Simpatico. Now, sometimes when we hear confronting, we think of an aggressive, up-in-your-face type of approach to conflict. It's just not that. In fact, confronting skills hinge on how well we are able to ask questions to meet our needs. And if it's going to be effective, it needs to be a respectful approach. Now, this approach is what I call the goodwill approach. It comes from a desire to be understood and, of course, to understand. Now, the goodwill approach not only requires respect, but it requires timing. And I would have to say that the first prerequisite to any productive communication would be in the timing. If you're coming from a place of goodwill and you see that the person you're going to be confronting sounds or appears to be receptive, then I would consider the timing to be pretty good. Your second consideration is, do you have conviction as to why you've decided you need to confront these people or persons, and on what matter? How important is the matter? The reason being is when people are held accountable, even in a polite manner, for answering questions or explaining their behavior, they tend to put up their guard. It's just natural. So if you're met with any of the human tendencies such as huffy defensiveness, changing the subject, or my favorite, always pretending you're too busy at the moment to give you undivided attention and we'll just have to put it off for later, you're going to need conviction to stay on task. Otherwise, your request falls by the wayside. So you don't want to be shuffled to the curb. And this happens, you'll find this happens with, for example, your boss. Someone that is maybe higher in academics than you are, or someone that you consider has classic good looks, or maybe is not in the same financial sphere as yours. These persons can be intimidating, to say the least, especially if they have any outcome over or power over your life. Now, conviction has a sound of certainty towards what you want them to hear, and it will be apparent in your voice inflection. So take the simple question, how are you feeling today? If I change the accent on any one of the words, it changes the meaning. For example, how are you feeling today? Or how are you feeling today? Presupposing that maybe you didn't feel quite as good yesterday. So do your sentences, do they end up going up or do they fade away as you finish them? And if so, that makes you easy to interrupt or not even be allowed to finish your sentences. I notice many people don't interrupt so much as they just plain cut others off before their sentence is finished, and it's very annoying. The third prerequisite is managing your confronting skills in empathetic listening. This listening requires that first and foremost you truly care about the needs of your interlocutor. This doesn't mean you have to agree with them. Listening with empathy is not only identifying the surface need of what the other person is trying to express, but it also takes consideration into their deeper needs. What are they really trying to tell you? Such as, what is their main concern? What emotion lies behind their concerns? And what is their core need? Whether you end up in problem-solving mode or not, and by the way, ultimately that's what we want to do when we confront anyone, is to be heard and maybe arrive at a place where both can problem solve. Remember, again, you do not have to agree with them or acquiesce. You just need to see their position in the confrontation and recognize their needs. And the other person will, at the very least, feel validated and see that you've genuinely tried to hear them out. When this rapport happens, when this gets established, you can move on. You can state your concerns and get into your problem solving. Cultivating our confronting skills allows us to form satisfying relationships, and that's what we're all about here at Simpatico. It allows us to feel that we're heard, to feel significant as individuals. Thanks for listening, and as we say here at SimpaticoKJL.com, life is only as good as the relationships we form.